While paying tribute to a group of Navajo war heroes, Donald Trump yesterday referred to Senator Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas because she used to fake having Indian heritage to further her career. Warren fired back with a furious statement saying, quote, "Great Orange Father, speak with forked tongue to noble red man warriors. I will weep no more forever on the trail of tears as I stand for my people against the white man from across the sea," unquote. Warren is demanding the president's scalp, but Trump responded by threatening to shoot out the senator's eyes so her spirit couldn't find its way to the happy hunting ground. In short, the American government is working pretty much as usual. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.
I feel hunky-dunky, life is tickety-boo. Birds are winging, also singing hunky-dunky-doo. Ship-shape, tipsy-topsy, the world is zippity-zing. It's a wonderful day, hurrah, hooray! It makes me want to sing. Oh, hurrah, hooray! Oh, hooray, hurrah!
All right, hooray, hurrah. You know, I have to say, for a cynical, horrible, monstrous person like myself, yesterday was actually a hilarious day. I mean, there was one piece of malfeasance and corruption and incompetence and rudeness after another. I went home after the show and I spent most of the day just laughing. And the only person who elevated things is Melania Trump, which I'm going to talk about because I actually thought there's something important about Melania Trump. We've been talking about morality, sort of the moral chaos that seems to have fallen over America, that nobody can quite figure out what's right. And we're trying to decide between some kind of individual guidance in morality and whether we need the morality of rules, and how the morality of rules can keep from becoming a tyranny, how the morality of individualism can keep from becoming anarchy. And it struck me that one of my favorite passages, it's generally regarded as one of the greatest passages in all of Western literature, deals very specifically with this exact question. And so we're going to talk about that as we look at the insane stupidity and craziness that has become our country on a daily basis, which is, you know, good for me because I'm amused. And I'm here to be. It's like my mother said to my father on their first date. He said, "Where do you want to go?" And she said, "I'm here to be amused." And that's basically been my code for life from that time on. Speaking of which, when you are going on vacation, I hope some of you will be going on vacation for the holidays. I'm a very picky vacationer. I like to be treated well. And so in the past, I've always wanted to go to hotels. But after a while, my wife convinced me, you know what, with a rental property, you get better stuff. We started to go to rental properties when we would go on hotels, and you get like all this stuff. Like you can get a kitchen, you can get a fully stocked kitchen, you can get more rooms for your entire family. I hate when you're in a hotel, especially this happens to me in New York. When I was in New York, I saw this room in the hotel I was in that had bagels laid out. So I thought, oh, this is nice. I'll go in and they offer bagels. So I go in and get a bagel. And I did that for about 3 days. And on the third day, a woman came up to me and she said, "Did you sign in for your bagel?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, this costs money. You have to sign in for it." And I went to sign in and I realized the bagels cost $16. $16 for a bagel in the hotel. So I thought, should I tell them that I've already accidentally ate 2 of them? I thought, no, I think 3 bagels for $16 is just about right. Because hotels know when you're stuck in the hotel, they can gouge you. But if you have your own place, if you rent your own place, then you can cook for yourself, go out and buy stuff in the local place. Also, you just feel more like a local. And if you want to rent a place, the best place to go is tripping.com. It's the world's #1 site for vacation rentals. With tripping.com, one search lets you filter, compare, and sort over 10 million available properties on trusted sites like VRBO, TripAdvisor, Booking.com, and more. Don't wonder if you're getting the best deal on the New Year's Eve cabin or winter beach vacation. You will save an average of 18% per night by booking your vacation with tripping.com. Don't forget, if you want to save time and money while booking the perfect vacation rental for your next trip, head to tripping.com/Klavan. That's Klavan. And you can tell people you were tripping with Klavan. Tripping.com/Klavan. Tripping.com/Klavan. It really is, will get you into the place that you're visiting. It will make you more of a part of it. And it really is a lot more fun. And now I know the hotel I was just staying in is going to call me up and say, "You owe us $32 for 2 bagels." But that is true. They do gouge you. Anyway, We got to start with Trump and the Navajos. I mean, this was just too funny. So Trump is got you know who the code talkers were, right? The Navajos. They did this in World War I too. They made a movie with I think Cage, with Nicolas Cage was in it. I think. They made a movie about them. They were called the Code Talkers, I think. And the reason they used the Indians was because they had a very obscure language, so they could turn that into a code, and you could communicate, and they couldn't. The bad guys couldn't bust the code. And they did this during World War I too. They did it a lot. But the World War II guys are, of course, the ones who are still alive. So I think 3 of them came for Trump to pay tribute to them, and he's paying tribute to them. And this is what our president said.
You were here long before any of us were here. Although we have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas. But you know what? I like you.
Just look at the face on this guy. He's like, what the hell is this guy talking about? And of course, Elizabeth Warren was livid. She immediately put out this statement.
You think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name.
Sorry, that was the actual Pocahontas. She's now working as a Harvard law professor. Here was Elizabeth Warren's statement.
You know, this was supposed to be an event to honor heroes, people who put it all on the line for our country, and people who, because of their incredible work, saved the lives of countless Americans and our allies. It is deeply unfortunate that the President of the United States cannot even make it through a ceremony honoring these heroes without having to throw a racial slur. Look, Donald Trump does this over and over, thinking somehow he's going to shut me up with it. It hadn't worked in the past. It is not going to work in the future.
I have to say that if the left is so uncreative, this thing that it was a racial slur, this was picked up by every single news commentator, every single news place, racial slur. Oh, it was a racial slur. It was a racial. There's nothing, it is no racial slur to say Pocahontas. The only thing I was a little offended by was Pocahontas became a Christian, and referring to Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas is kind of, I mean, it's Pocahontas. Can't he get this right? Can't the president? He's the president of the United States. It is Pocahontas because she is a fake Pocahontas. It's elevating her too much to compare her to Pocahontas. I mean, so they do this stuff, and of course, Trump knows exactly what they're going to do. He is always 2 steps ahead of them. You can say what you want about him. I thought it was tremendously ungracious, tremendously rude to do that in that moment, to bring up his political battle in this moment where he's paying tribute to heroes. Hilarious. It was hilarious. It was absolute. I mean, I laughed till I cried, but still, in real life, it was rude. It's a rude thing to do, but it's not racist. And when they pile that stuff on, those of us, namely, I would say 80% of the country, who are so sick and tired of having race thrown in our face over every little thing, they just make him look good. They play, they're like the lions, the Christians going into the lions. He devours them because they've got this one thing in their playbook. Couldn't they have just said, oh, he was rude, it was inappropriate, or whatever they want to say, or just let it go, let the people make their own judgment? So they come up to Sarah Sanders and they hit her with it, and she had the perfect response.
I think what most people find offensive is Senator Warren lying about her heritage to advance her career.
Now, she said it was a racial slur. She sasaid it was a racial slur. What is your response to that?
I think that's a ridiculous response.
She's right. They hate the press. The press is getting. She is driving, Sarah Huckabee Sanders is driving them crazy because she really, without being Sean Spicer, without throwing the furniture, without eating the furniture, she just makes them look so bad. And it is ridiculous. She did claim to be a Cherokee. This is a joke. Among Native Americans, it's a joke that people who are not Indians, when they want to claim to be Indians, they all claim to be Cherokees because there are a lot of Cherokees and people can say that they're Cherokees. Warren claims that she never used this to advance her career, but it's ridiculous. She was listed herself as a minority professor. She actually contributed 5 recipes to the I swear this is true, to the Pow Wow Chow cookbook published by the 5 Civilized Tribes Museum in Muskogee. And she signed the item, she signed the recipes, Elizabeth Warren Cherokee. I mean, you really have to have no sense of yourself to do this. So it is absurd. And finally, so they keep going in this racial slur and people saying the racial slur, but the Indians themselves, the Native Americans, they had a comment too. They issued this statement. Okay, that may have been an overreaction on their part. I think. Oh, this is terrible. What guy? Who wrote the show? Oh, I did. I'm sorry. It's a terribly racist show we're having here. But you know, the thing is, in my observation, everybody acted badly. Trump is acting smartly. He is being a smart politician because he is bringing these guys out. If he is going to win, which I think he will if he keeps up, if he's going to win in 2020, he just needs to draw these people out. He needs to do what nobody has done and say, look, they're phonies, they're frauds, everything is racist, it's not racist, and all this stuff. So he's doing a good job, but it was incredibly rude, incredibly ungracious to treat these heroes like that. So they have him on that. And then the left acts badly too. I mean, the left with their lies and their charges of racism, and Elizabeth Warren with that earnest little face, you know, that earnest, oh, it was so sad that the president of the United States. It's just everybody is acting badly. And then we have James O'Keefe. Now, I have to say, I've always liked James O'Keefe. You know, I admire what he does. He's the guy, Project Veritas. He sends people in to, well, you know what he does. He sends undercover people in to catch people out. He had a tremendous success via Andrew Breitbart when he went after Acorn, which was a absolute con of an organization still around, really. He didn't destroy it as much as he did, but he did get make it lose a lot of its government backing. He has had some real successes. He does tend, just being fair, he does tend to announce that he has some amazing story and it'll come out. It'll be some guy saying some untoward thing. And recently he's been going after the media. And remember, he did that thing with the New York Times where he got them admitting that they have been biased against Trump. He has somebody at the Washington Post now saying that they've been biased against Trump. But he pulled one off and it fell flat and he got caught. He sent a woman into the Washington Post with a fake story about Roy Moore, right? The Alabama Senate guy who's been accused of all this sexual malfeasance. And he sent a girl in to say that Moore had impregnated her when she was 16 and had then paid for her abortion. And the Washington Post was on the lookout. They knew that James was coming after him, and they got her. So here is a clip of the woman, what's her name? Jamie Phillips, of Project Veritas, going into the Washington Post and telling her story. And the Washington Post reporter basically does what a reporter should do. She catches her.
So, I think I probably just want to cancel and not go through with it at this point.
Okay. And do you want to explain any more about how it was that how you came to call us and?
No, I just saw an article I saw that article that was posted, and that's how I reached out to Beth.
And are you in contact with other people? Are you in contact with the Roy Moore campaign or Steve Bannon or Breitbart or?
Not at all.
So do you still have an interest in, as this says, combating the lies and deceit of the liberal MSM? Do you still have an interest in working in the conservative media movement to combat the lies and deceit of the liberal MSM? Is that still your interest?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Not at this point.
No.
she's just nailed. I mean, there's no way around this. The blowback was immense, and we'll get that in a minute. First, we will talk about another great gift idea, especially in your stocking. This is one of the hardest things that I do is fill up my wife's stockings, because my wife goes, I have this great wife. She goes off and she does so much of the Christmas stuff, and I sort of sit around, and occasionally I'll say, ho, ho, ho. I will drink some eggnog. I do participate in that way. But filling my wife's stocking is one of the hardest things I do, because it's hard to find nice things that will fit into a stocking and don't cost a gazillion dollars. But Tracker is a great device that I use like all the time, that you attach to whatever you don't want to lose, and it will help you find them if you lose it. It is about the size of a dime. It is really tiny, a little disc, and you can attach it to your keys, you can attach it to books, purse, whatever it is you misplace. With me, that's everything, like everything. I wish, I don't attach it to glasses because I think it would kind of look silly on it. But what you do is you attach it. It's called Tracker. It's Trackr. That's how they spell it. They leave out the vowel. I just think all these organizations are collecting these vowels for some sinister purpose. There's some storehouse of vowels somewhere, but they leave it out as Trackr. And the website is called thetracker.com, Thetrackr.com. It's about the size of a dime. You attach it to whatever you want. Then you have an app on your smartphone. And if you lose your glasses, lose your purse, lose whatever you lose, you press the app on your smartphone and it makes a noise. It takes a sound. And it's like Waze, it also helps you find, it guides you to it. So it says you're getting closer, you're getting further away, and you find it. And I do it all the time. I have dropped my keys on trails, hiking trails and all this stuff. And when you drop your keys on a hiking trail, you are in big, big trouble, because you not only have to go back up the hill to find your keys, but also there's no way to get home if you don't find your keys. And that has happened to me as well. So I use it for that. And then if you lose the tracker, you press the app on the phone and it helps you find the tracker. The tracker itself makes a noise. So it's really, really useful. Tracker is a great gift, and during the holiday season, you can save 20% off your order when you go to thetracker.com/Klavan, Klavan, thetracker, Trackr.com/Klavan. You save 20% off a tracker device, thetracker.com/Klavan. It's very useful stuff. Very useful. All right, so go back to O'Keefe. O'Keefe sends the girl in. He gets busted. Then the Washington Post goes to Project Veritas and does exactly what O'Keefe did to the New York Times editor, right? We played this on the show. O'Keefe went to the New York Times editor, chased him down the street. The editor wouldn't talk to him. And the same exact thing happens when the Washington Post confronts James outside of Project Veritas.
Do you like utilizing our techniques? Have you been inspired by Project Veritas?
No, we just wanted to confirm that the woman we believe is Jamie Phillips works for Project Veritas. She showed up here this morning.
I think it's really cute that you guys are borrowing our techniques.
So, just wanted to talk to you about
So it was a design then?
We're busy right now.
Well, here's the problem.
We're running through a meeting.
Someone approached the Washington Post reporter saying that she was impregnated by Roy Moore.
Here's the problem.
Was that truthful or was
Here's
that
the problem.
not?
The problem is we're busy. So if you'd like to make an appointment, please call our office and make an appointment.
Okay, I can do that.
you.
So
When can we talk today?
Thank you.
We actually tried contacting the New York Times and all those organizations.
Okay.
And they refused to talk to us, so you could knock on our door and we'd be happy to talk to you, okay? But I have to run to this meeting right now.
Okay.
And
so I feel again that James blew this, right? Because the Washington Post came out looking good. They checked the story. Now, I found it kind of amusing that the fact that the Washington Post would fact check a story became a story. Like the Washington Post was just like, yeah, we fact checked a story, yeah. I'm thinking like, you're a newspaper, you should fact check every story. And people were vicious. Even on the right, people were piling onto O'Keefe as if he had done something wrong. Now, here's my reaction to this, because he did do something wrong if he just went in to expose the Washington Post, if he suspected that their accusations against Roy Moore were a political setup, and there's some reason to think that. There's some reason to think that some of them were a political setup. If he thinks that, why not go in, and this is what he does, undercover journalism, why not go in and try and expose them, and then admit it if you get caught. Admit that, no, they got you. What is wrong with saying that? After all, it's not like the Washington Post hasn't gotten so much wrong during the Trump era. They have gone insane. Remember, they've changed their little saying to democracy dies in darkness, so they've become pompous, sanctimonious buffoons, for one. And secondly, a lot of their stuff has been wrong. They got, what did they have, that one story where the former Republican majority leader in the House made a joke about Trump being in the pay of the Russians, and they reported it as a scandal. Trump in the pay of the Russians. It was ridiculous. They've done all this stuff. That was Kevin McCarthy. They said Comey was fired. When Trump fired Comey, they said he had been asking for more funds for his Russia investigation. That wasn't true. They said that Russia hacked the electrical grid in Vermont. So the Washington Post have been absurd. They're in their hatred of Donald Trump, in their wild desire to do vengeance journalism on Donald Trump. They have made themselves absurd. Now, the story on Roy Moore has looked good to me. I read the story, and it looked like a really well-sourced story. The women were named. The women didn't come forward. They found the women. You can say, well, why didn't they come forward before? But some of them just sounded very reliable to me. And Moore's, of course, his defense was not very, he kind of later on, he solidified his defense. We'll get to that in a minute. But if that's what he was doing, if that's what O'Keefe was doing, that's fine. If O'Keefe was in the pay of the Moore organization, or if he was in the pay of Bannon at Breitbart, that's not journalism anymore. That is oppo research, and that's that's running an operation. So if he did that, I think he was wrong. And people are saying, well, he was trying to get these poor abused women and make them look like they were liars, but he didn't do that. He didn't succeed. So I don't understand why, that's like saying of the Washington Post, I thought all women were supposed to be believed, but you didn't believe this woman. No, I mean, this is all's fair in love and war, and these are journalism wars going on. So I didn't feel O'Keefe was necessarily in the wrong unless he was in the pay of Moore or Breitbart. If he was in the pay of Moore and Breitbart, I think he was out of line, because I don't think he should be working for anybody. I think he's a right-wing journalist. He has the right to fight his corner, but I don't think he should be in the pay of anybody. But everybody acting badly. Every single person is acting badly. The mainstream media look like idiots. They have looked like idiots since Trump got elected, and they became hysterical little girls screaming at everything that Donald Trump says. After 8 years of lying on their backs like a poodle, waiting for their tummies to be scratched by Barack Obama, they just look absurd. I don't think O'Keefe came out of that smelling like a rose. I think he was wrong not to turn and face the music and say, good job, you guys. I thought you were doing a bad thing, but you proved me wrong. That's journalism too. Proving that the Washington Post is checking their stories. That's journalism too. I don't know why he should run away like a criminal, and I don't know why the right should pile on him like he's a criminal. We need people like this to expose the mainstream media. They are corrupt. They are ideologically corrupt. And the fact that some of them are talented journalists makes it all the worse. It's all the worse that they're talented journalists working a corrupt way. Again, with Trump, everybody looking bad. And we'll deal with that a little bit in a minute. But first, here is a great holiday gift that you can't leave in people's stocking, because it's meat. Do not leave meat in people's stocking. Remember, you heard this here, especially the guys out there who are just stupid enough to leave meat in your wife's stocking. Hey, honey, I left meat in your stocking. Do not do that. But that doesn't mean you can't give a great gift of great meat for Christmas with Omaha Steaks. I have been eating, they've been sending me their steaks and their food, and it is terrific. It's special. It really is different. They now have a gift that for only $49.99 for $50. Let's just be frank here. It's $50. You get a My Family gift pack. You go to omahasteaks.com and enter my code Andrew in the search bar, and that's 75% off. Let me tell you what you get with this. They say it's under $50. It's $50. You get 2 filet mignons, 2 top sirloins, 2 boneless pork chops, 4 boneless chicken breasts, 4 kielbasa sausages, 4 burgers. Amazing, right? And that's not all. You get 4 potatoes au gratin, 4 caramel apple tartlets. I would pay $50 just for the caramel apple tartlets, 1 Omaha Steak seasoning packet, plus you get 4 additional kielbasa sausages for free. This is really good stuff, and you don't have to go out. I was watching people on Black Friday, is that what it is? Go beating the crap out of each other. And I don't, people make fun of those people, but, it's good deals, and I get it. You're saving some money, but you don't have to do that. You can save money just by going onto omahasteaks.com. And right now, Omaha Steaks is giving an exclusive savings just to my listeners. This $50 offer, you get it by going to omahasteaks.com and enter the code Andrew in the search bar. It's a 75% savings, a gift that is guaranteed to be a hit, especially when you start eating it. All right, we have to say goodbye to Facebook and YouTube, but you can come over to thedailywire.com and listen to the rest of the show. You can listen to the rest of the show on YouTube. You can listen to the rest of the show in your head. Just imagine the rest of the show, but it's just not as good as watching the whole show on thedailywire.com. And the way you do that is you got to subscribe. It's a lousy $10 a month. Tomorrow's the mailbag. I forgot. Tomorrow is the mailbag. So let me explain how to do that again, because it's important. You go on the mailbag. You can leave any question you want. Personal questions, religious questions, political questions. The answers are guaranteed 100% correct and will change your life on occasion for the better. You go on the dailywire.com site, hit podcasts, go to my podcast, and there is a little thing that says mailbag. It's a little image, and you press the mailbag image, and you can leave your questions right there. I will answer as many as I can. I get these letters from people who just say the answers really do help them out. So do that. But in order to do that, you got to subscribe. Lousy $10 a month. For $100, you get the entire year. Plus, you get the Leftist Tears tumbler, which actually magically fills up every time I speak. It's just an amazing, amazing thing. Will keep your leftist tears hot or cold, however you like them, and they taste so good. Come on over to thedailywire.com.